Hey everyone. I want to spend it, less than 5 minutes hopefully, and walk through some of the highlights in the syllabus for the semester, and just so you have a better sense of how the work will unfold. So if you open up As You Learn and you go to this PDF syllabus and university policies, it will take you to a link to open up this document. And right now I do have online office hours posted on the syllabus, but I will probably change those, but I'll finalize those by the end of today. So we do have a text for the class, the writer's reference. It's a rental text, so you don't have to pay for it. You don't need to go to the bookstore. I'll replace this with a link in a few days, and I'll also put that link on right on in that top module on As You Learn. So let me just kind of scroll through. I want to talk a little bit about this is a brief description, programmatic description of the sophomore writing class, Introduction to Writing Across the Curriculum, and the title will take you as a hyperlink to the program's course page. And also in 2001, we all get to sort of pick and choose, if we want to, a course theme, if you will, and mine are pretty wide open. I usually choose a course theme that is that makes the course more accessible and also inclusive of multiple viewpoints, and hopefully something that invites diverse dialogue. So my background, just to give you a little bit of context, not too much, but is I am a science person who majored in English. That's sort of how I like to talk about it. And specifically, have been working in and around and with writers, incarcerated writers and artists for over 25 years. So I've been at ASU a long time, and but have taught in other institutions. So I bring with me, I don't know, a kind of I feel like a very diverse teaching background. But I'm also really interested in digital, the rhetoric of digital spaces, and I am probably of the generation that we will be the last ones to have grown up in a pre-internet world, which is bizarre, but to think about now. But of those pre-internet people, I like to think I'm fairly tech savvy and up to speed for the most part. But anyway, so there's that. So that hopefully will explain a little bit of what I'm talking about when I talk about digital citizenry and discourse communities. So so I'll come back to that, and I'll unpack that a little bit more in future videos. But for now, the coursework's broken down into 3 categories: weekly work, draft work, and the e-portfolio. The weekly work, I'm not a fan of busy work. I really do believe that you all do more work than you've ever done, and everything should be connected. So, and merge with the next thing, so or lead to the next thing. So I really, really believe in getting as much mileage as possible out of every scrap of work that we do. So if you're doing the weekly work, then that is usable material it could be easily shaped and turned into draft work. And then of course, if you're doing the draft work and the weekly work, then you're automatically working on your e-portfolio throughout the semester. So the e-portfolio that we do is worth 20% of the grade. The weekly work is worth 40%, and the draft work is worth 40% of your final grade. But they're all they're all connected, and you can't be, if you're doing weekly work and draft work, then you're also doing the portfolio. So they more than intersect. Okay. So there's that. Weekly work can include, and it might not happen on a weekly basis, but it's part of that weekly work draft credit or weekly work credit in the grade book. So you will have weekly readings and discussion forum posts and peer responses in the discussion forum, starting with week 2. That is a regular weekly thing. There will be occasional reflections, item number 4, and conferencing. So there's that. And the draft work is broken down into 3 separate categories. So draft 1, and they don't have to be connected, but they can be connected. And I'll unpack that further in the guidelines for the drafts, and also I'll always post a draft video explanation. So you don't have to watch the videos, but certainly they give you a little bit more to chew on, and I really, I try to really stretch things out a bit so that folks have lots of options. So if you don't need that extra explanation or context, and you feel on track, then you should just, by all means, full steam ahead. So late work, before I get there, so the literacy narrative is where we start. Drafts 1 and 2 are the same product. It's just a beginning draft and then a final draft. Then there's the rhetorical analysis, and the third section, a multimodal project with a reflection. We spend probably 7 weeks on that multimodal project. So, and I chunk it out so that it's not all due at once. That's a shock to this. We don't need that. So we don't. Yeah, we've been shocked enough in the last year and a half. E-portfolio comes at the very end, and I will provide a list for you. But it's a sampling of different things, and then also there is a new piece of writing that goes into that, and that would be a longer reflection that comes at the very end of the semester. Late work, accepted or rejected on an individual basis, and attendance rolls out is, you know this by now, but attendance looks different in an online class. So getting that weekly work done is really like showing up to class. There's a lot of multimedia. There's very few, there may be 2 or 3 rhetorical readings that I've included, but I really mix up the readings and the video. I use a fair amount of video or multimedia content, and but all that said, it's not it shouldn't be painful for the most part. So if anything, it might light a fire here or there. Okay, in a good way. So let me just say this about late work. If you, and this is what I really want to talk about grades and late work, and then you can read the rest. Late work and attendance. I have 6 sections. I'll just say that. I have 6 sections. We are understaffed and stretched beyond our limits, certainly, like everybody. And so I really, really, really need folks to try to get things in on time. But I also know that I don't know what your lives look like right now. We're still in this weird limbo, and with the Delta variant, we're having to deal with a new wave of what, I don't even know what to call it now, but things are really uncertain, and being online is not necessarily an ideal situation. But I am, after this week, my main goal is to be as accessible as possible to all of you. So if you can't reach me by email, you can text me, or you can come see me on Zoom every day. I'm going to be sitting on Zoom at least 2 to 3 hours every single day. But if you have classes back to back, between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. and you just can't make an office hour, then I will start actually, and I'm going to send out a Google form just to kind of get a sense of folks, what your schedules look like. I will probably start offering a couple times a week an evening, a PM slot, office hours time slot. So it depends on office hours. But even then, if it doesn't work and you still want to be able to pop in and, if you wish I had office hours at 8 o'clock, then you should tell me that, and I can, I'll move things around. So so there's that. The bottom line is, you don't have to tell me why the work is late, or why you need an extension. Just that you do. Period. So I think, you don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. You just need to say, I need this, and I will provide that. So if the late work starts to really pile up, and we get to midterm and you haven't turned in any drafts, then we will need to have a chat about that, and the two of us, and just sit down in Zoom and come up with some kind of strategy for completing the work, because I want everyone to complete the semester and to do well, and to stay on track. That's what I want more than anything. So with all that said, if you get sick, you get sick, and I need you to tell me that you can say you're sick, but you don't need to tell me the details of your life, but I need you to ask for what you need. And the universe has not, and I taught summer sessions, so I know I had 2 sections of this class this summer, and I would say, well over a dozen of the folks, I didn't ask, people just offered it up. And so I know that folks are still dealing with, people are afraid of getting COVID, and I know folks who've gotten it. Lots of folks have tested positive, and they're dealing with, they're really, really struggling still. And so if you fall into that category, then, just know that I don't know that the universe, the ASU universe knows how to deal with that yet, but I certainly will deal with that. I certainly know how to deal with that. So I'm just putting it out there. Again, not to invite you not to ask for details about your lives, but to let you know that you don't have to tell me I don't need you to tell me anything. I just need to know that you need an extension, or you needed something. So just ask for what you need. So, okay, that's my soapbox for the day. My COVID soapbox. I'm not going to get up on a COVID soapbox often. Probably I won't do it. I probably won't do it again. But I wanted to be clear that I've thought about this quite a lot. Assessment, grading, and feedback. You will receive feedback from me in different ways. Sometimes it'll be the old-fashioned way. I might need to print out a draft of something and just handwrite edits, and then take photos and send it to you. Or I might open it up in Google Docs or Word and do the comments in there. Sometimes I'll just open up Screencast-O-Matic and open up your draft and talk through it. So, or sometimes I'll talk to you in conferences. So it'll come back at you a number of different ways in terms of the feedback that I give. Sometimes I'll use rubrics. I like to switch it up, especially when it's an online class. So every couple weeks I sort of come back to my back porch and close the door and try to get myself caught up in terms of popping in, points for the low stakes work, the weekly work, the discussion forums and that sort of thing. And so that I'm not behind when we approach midterm and exams. So, all right. I think that I have covered everything for now, but I know I'm forgetting something because I can feel it. But keep a lookout for every week. I will post a video like this, and sort of, it'll be brief, under 5 minutes, definitely not 15, but it will cover what's coming up, in the week, and also it might answer some lingering questions from the previous week. Just sort of like a weekly, podcast, if you will, to start the week out. And yeah, that's it. So that's it for now. And as soon as I remember whatever it is I forgot, I will, if it's critical, I'll post it in the announcements. So the announcements forum at the very tip top of As You Learn. So, all right, have a great first week, everyone, and I can't wait to meet all of you. See you soon.